would you like my haircut? I'm turning 20 this month, so I thought I would get a change for the big 2-0, because, you know, I'm not going to be a teenager anymore, and that's kind of scary. And I remember actually filming a video after my birthday last year and being like, I'm going to be 20. That still stands. Hi guys, today I am here to do my August wrap up. Yay, August wrap up. Dun, dun, dun. Don't know where that came from. I read a total of 6 books in August, which is good. I'm still carrying on with my reading streak. I don't know what's going on. I just can't stop reading. Probably something to do with the fact that I work and I have to read because I have to have things to talk about. Obviously, in August there was the Booktubeathon, which I was supposed to take part in, and I did take part in, kind of. Thank you, Buster, for barking, you bastard. I didn't film a wrap-up, no. I don't know why, but I did read 2 books in the book. No, 3. Hello, you have to go in here too. I read 2 books and a tiny little pamphlet thing for the Booktubeathon, so I'll just get into what I read. So the first book that I read in August was Alpha by Rachel Vincent, which is the 6th and final book in the Shifter series, which you all know I love. Love it. This was a really, really great way to end the series. Lots of stuff happened, there were lots of tears. It only gets 4.5 stars, or I might give it 4.75 stars, because there was so much angst and so much, like, love triangle-ness happening throughout that it did kind of get on my nerves in the first half of the book, but then the action set in, everything kind of come to a conclusion, and it was really good, and I really love it, and I just want everyone to read the books, please. It's become like one of my new favourite series of all time. I love it that much. And then for the Booktubeathon, for the one I think where you're not supposed to put a book down when you pick it up, I just read The Lady of Midnight chapter sampler from Cassandra Clare. I can't really say a lot because there's a chapter sampler. I think it's alright, but you can never get like a feeling. It was nice to have Cassandra Clare's writing back. It's been a very, very long time, and I can't wait for more Cassandra Clare books. And then I read A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. This book is essentially about a young girl who sees her mother get killed and then gets shipped off to a boarding school in England after she's been living in India for so long. And lots of stuff happens. She's being followed by this dude from India, and she's prone to seeing visions that come true, and soon discovers that she's part of, like, I want to say a spirit world, but I don't really know. I didn't really understand a lot what that was happening. I ended up really liking the friendships that were developed in this book, although I did find a couple of the girls really, really annoying, and I actually found Gemma to be quite annoying. She had a really young voice, I found. I don't know if I'll continue on. I might do, because, well, I can't really remember what happens, so I guess it's one of those books that you pick up, you read, and then you forget about it afterwards. I gave the book 4 stars. Then the next book that I read was probably my favourite read of the month, and that is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. I read this because I saw that Sam from Thoughts and Times had, like, raved about it, so I decided to pick it up, and oh my god. This is amazing. The writing is, like, it's so poetically beautiful. This is basically a story of a family, so you've got the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter, and it goes from the grandmother's story, then onto the mother's story, and then onto the daughter's story, whose name is Ava, and she is born with wings. That is the only thing that is real, I'm going to say, magic-wise, in this book. Because it's kind of a contemporary, but it's got, like, magical elements in it, which is what confused me, but yeah, it goes through their stories, and just basically it's about love and, like, family love, friendships, everything like that. It's so beautifully written, the characters are so amazing, you get attached to all of them, they're complex, their life stories are really amazing. I really loved it, and I really, really urge everyone to read this if you want to read something that's gonna captivate you and that's just amazing to read. And yeah, it made me feel really nostalgic as well. Like, I felt like I was wrapped up in a warm hug and just, you know, comfortable when I was reading it, and it just really, really good. Honestly, read it, please. I give this 5 stars, if you couldn't tell. The next book that I read was The Maze Runner by James Dashner. I've been putting this off for a while, I don't know why, but I read this because it's one of my sister's favourite books. Well, it's the only book she's practically read this series. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's very, very different to the film. I just went very squeaky. There are lots of different elements. Not the best book I've read, not gonna lie. I've given it 4 stars on Goodreads, but I think I might drop that down to 3.5 because it's not the most captivating book I've read. I mean, there are definitely slow points, and to be honest, I don't really understand what has happened. But I'm gonna guess you all know what The Maze Runner is about. It's about a group of boys that get dropped into a maze, and Thomas, our main character, is a boy that gets dropped into the maze, and he has no idea what's going on. Neither does anyone else, and there's so much stuff and people and things, and I'm not doing a very good job at summarising these books, am I? But yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars. It's not the best book, I'm not gonna lie. I've definitely read a lot that are better, but it's captivating, and I will probably carry on with the series just because I want to know what happens and because it's nice picturing Dylan O'Brien's face when you read books. The next book that I read I don't actually have a copy of because I borrowed it from work, and it was Waterstone's Fiction Book of the Month, and that was Early One Morning by Virginia Bailey. I will insert a picture somewhere on the screen here. I did not expect to get all of the feelings that I got when I read this novel. It was kind of slow to start off with. I was kind of a bit bored and it took me a while to get into it, but once I got into it, it was amazing. This story is basically about Italy during World War II, when obviously all of the Germans have taken over and the Nazis have taken over. A young Italian woman is out and she sees a family on a train, obviously about to be boarded off to a concentration camp, and she claims the woman's son as her nephew, and it's about her life from there. You kind of switch points in time from that point where you're discovering what happens from that snap decision moment to the future, where she is now, where she's older and she's kind of stuff has happened. And then you're also switching from Italy to Wales, where there's a young girl whose story becomes interwoven with them, and it's so good, it's so captivating. It'd be an amazing book group read because there's so much that you could talk about, and it's so poignant and deep and emotional and sad, but also really uplifting as well. And although there's lots of different points of views and there's lots of different time jumps, it all really does make sense, and it's not confusing at all. It's just one that will get you right in the feels, and I really recommend it if you're into kind of World War II and all of that kind of stuff, and you like stories that are realistic, that don't skim over the sad points, and that are a story that's gonna teach you something at the end of the day, that's gonna make you feel all of the emotions. I really enjoyed it and I gave that one 4 stars. Final book that I read this month was Echoes by Laura Tisdale. This book isn't actually out just yet. It's released on September the 8th. It's a self-published novel and I got sent it for review. I will have a proper review video up shortly, so I will leave a link to that either on the screen or down below at some point whenever I upload it. This book basically follows Mallory, who sort of leads 2 lives. She's got one life where she's a really good famous hacker, and another life where she's kind of normal. She's dealing with her problematic father and having to look after her brother, and it's really good. There's lots of action, there's so many good, complex, deep emotional characters that you will get attached to and that you will find funny. There's also humour interwoven throughout because of the characters, they're so funny. I gave this 3.75 stars because I did have a couple of issues with the writing and just the overall finish of it. I think it could have, done with a little bit more editing so that the sentences weren't so clunky, and so that I kept getting pulled out of narrative and being like, well, hang on, having to read sentences a couple of times to understand what was happening. But yeah, I really enjoyed it and I really recommend it if you kind of like all of the computery type things, and if you like really complex characters that are going to grab you and hold you. That's it for my August wrap up, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I read a good range of books this month. I don't think I'm going to have a September TBR, but I think I might start doing TBRs because I need to start writing a list of books that I'm going to read, because I'm really starting to struggle to pick a book after I finished a book because I'm finding it so hard. I'm like, well, I want to read that, but I also want to read that. So if I start making lists, that'll be good. But I'm not going to do it for September, I'll do it for October. Let me know what books you read and loved this month down below, and let me know if you've read any books that I read this month. I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and bye.